We're not your typical homeschooling family. Actually, we never thought we'd even be standing here saying that we educate at home. But thanks to the world shutdown in 2020 and God's hand in it all, we have found something that allows all of us to thrive, both in the school setting and beyond. This podcast is for you if you're curious about homeschooling, want to learn how to travel hack so you can take your family on more trips around the globe for pennies, or if you just need some inspiration in your homeschooling journey. Grab a cup of coffee, sit back, join in on the conversation. Welcome to the Unexpected Homeschoolers podcast. I'm your host, Candace Crompton. This week on the podcast, we're talking about ways to outsource your homeschool. The job of teacher does not have to fall only on you. There are so many ways to enrich your child's education by adding in additional people, places, and things. Let's talk about outsourcing for a second. If teaching music isn't your thing, or you just don't have time to add one more subject to your plate, Hoffman Academy is a game changer. It's a complete online piano program your kids can do from home at their own pace with step-by-step video lessons, practice guides, and even theory games. It's high-quality music education without the commute, the scheduling stress, or the price tag of private lessons. If you're looking for a smart, flexible way to outsource music in your homeschool, this is it. Tap the link in my show notes or scan the QR code right here on your screen to check out Hoffman Academy and get started today. A lot of people feel that homeschooling involves only the parent as the teacher. And I'm here to tell you, especially as your children get in higher grades, it's a lot easier on you and way more fun for them to have an extra person or three teaching them material. And yes, I know we all choose homeschooling so that we can educate our children in the way we feel they should be educated. However, it doesn't mean we solely have to do it on our own. It means even more that we get to choose who educates them, in what environment they're educated, and we can tailor their education more specifically based on the programs offered. If you're in the thick of grades, kindergarten through second grade, you're probably about to turn off this podcast because you think I'm crazy to want to outsource any part of homeschool. And why is that? It's because you right now are in the sweet spot of ease, fun, and little kid snuggles. Plus, you're the center of their world right now. Sometimes I long for those days of curriculum wrapping up in about an hour and a half. Most of our days were spent outside in nature. We took lots of fun field trips, and we had nowhere to be. Mainly because my kids didn't have lots of extracurricular activities or a big social network. Fast forward to where I am today, and I'm realizing I'm not the center of their world. They have their own budding personalities and interests and their own social networks between swimming, theater, neighborhood buddies, church friends, and activities. We are on the move. Plus, I have a lot more to manage and juggle than I did in those earlier school years. Here's where outsourcing comes into play. Not only do your children need to be held accountable by another adult other than you sometimes, but they also learn better sometimes from a different perspective, and especially so if this person has a lot of experience in the field they are teaching in. Another reason to outsource would be to get some work done of your own, like recording a podcast, run errands, or just take a moment to yourself. Here are a few ways that outsourcing could be great for your child. First way is just through curriculum. So this one's probably not what you were expecting me to say at all. But not all outsourcing has to happen outside of the home. The way technology is these days, especially with homeschool curriculum, you can outsource a lot of teaching to online tutors. Our curriculum, I talk about it all the time, is the good and the beautiful. And it uses online teachers starting in 4th grade. This has been so great for my oldest because she gets to hear things explained in a whole new way, and it gives her the ability to also still have me to help bring things home, so to speak, if she doesn't understand a concept. In turn, while she's watching her lesson, I can cook a meal, clean the house, start a load of laundry, or I can be teaching my youngest while she's learning at the same time. My youngest, who still needs me to teach her material right now because she is in 3rd grade, but next year they'll both be doing online learning, and I have no clue what I'm going to do with all this time that's on my hands. So here's some ideas for curriculum. Choose a curriculum that uses online instruction. For example, Good and the Beautiful. It starts at a certain age. Just check out what that might mean. When I say that they get taught by another person with Good and Beautiful, it's usually about a 10 to 15 minute video that they watch, either on the iPad or on the computer, and then they do their work from there. Or you can choose subjects online that you don't necessarily want to teach, like typing. So we use Type C for that. Coding, maybe. Science videos they can watch and learn about something and then maybe do an experiment with that. History videos, etc. There are so many subjects that you can find online to use as your curriculum. Okay, the second way would be to hire a tutor or a specialist. One of the easiest ways to outsource, and one of the most fun, is to find a subject that your child is interested in or a subject that you just flat out don't enjoy teaching. And search in your homeschool groups, co-ops. Find someone who is willing to teach that subject or who already has ongoing classes. We are thankfully so blessed to live in a place that is rich in homeschool materials and resources. So our options here are abundant. Now, I realize this can be harder in smaller areas, but remember, there is always an expert in a field that would probably be delighted to teach your children a subject if you reached out and asked them. One way we do this is by outsourcing science, and that is my least favorite subject to teach. My kids not only get to learn hands-on from a guy who absolutely loves teaching science, but they also gain a whole new set of friends to socialize with during and after class. So far, we have, and I know I'm going to murder this word, seened at the beach is where they take the net and pull in all kinds of different sea creatures. And they'll be kayaking as a whole class soon. And there's not a class that they do that they're not outdoors, either fishing or dissecting something, learning way more than I can teach them at home. A bonus, too, is that they are now learning accountability by reading the required lessons before their next classes and writing what they've learned. They also have to do projects, so it's something outside of what I'm requiring them to do. So here's some examples of some subjects that maybe you could outsource to a professional or someone else who enjoys teaching these things. Fine arts. We have a lot of art classes here in town. You could go and have your child take an art class. Science, public speaking, maybe that's something that you're interested in having your child be introduced to. Classical Conversations is a great co-op for this. They require every single time they meet for your child to stand up in front of class and present something. So this is a great skill, in my opinion. Maybe a foreign language. Cooking skills. You could be doing instruments, vocal lessons. You could also hire tutors that are virtual. So platforms like Wizant, Varsity Tutors, or TakeLessons.com make it easy to find vetted teachers to fit your schedule. And then, as I said above, music, you could use local studios or you could do virtual platforms. And I have an ad today about Hoffman Academy, and I have a link in the show notes, or you can click right here. You can get a discount, and it covers a lot of the piano stuff, and piano lessons are so expensive. So if you could do the Hoffman Academy, it would save a lot of money and time because you won't be traveling to and from different places. Old school fun meets modern magic. If you're looking for a creative, screen-free gift for your kids this Christmas, the Tin Can landline is it. We just ordered ours as Christmas gifts for the girls, and I can't wait to see their faces light up. It's a real working landline for kids. A simple, nostalgic way for them to talk and play without screens, apps, or distractions. Think walkie-talkie fun meets childhood imagination. Want yours by Christmas? Pre-order now. And don't forget, you can get a discount when you use the link in the show notes. Give your kids a gift they'll actually use and you'll actually love hearing. Okay, so the third way to outsource homeschool would be field trips. And they are so underrated when it comes to outsourcing. Y'all, field trips can provide a wealth of education for your children. And it's way more fun than sitting around at home. learning the same exact thing out of a book or a TV show. We have Fridays set aside for field trips only and life skills too, and I use this day as a bonus day for fun education, either based off something we are learning that week or something entirely new and fun, maybe something they want to learn about. We also get to bring friends along for the ride, making this even more fun for the field trip. Education does not have to be boring. Think outside the box. Another way to think about field trips is, what interests my child? Is there something they've been dying to learn about, but it just doesn't fit into the weekly rhythm? So use one of your field trips to fill their curiosity. Here's some examples of things that you could do for field trips. Call around and ask places what they offer as far as educational classes. You will be so surprised, y'all, at what people will offer if you tell them your child is interested in learning about what they do. The first thing that comes to mind here is Kiowa Island. They have told me several times to bring the kids out to learn about any of the things that they are teaching over in the Turtle Center. So that make a phone call. You would be shocked. Maybe your child is interested in veterinarian, so you could do maybe a vet tech for the day. Also, things like marine biology, maybe landscaping. If your child is interested in that, I'm sure that they could tag along with a landscaper for the day. He owns a landscaping business. When the girls go up, he teaches them an array of things about plants. So that is education. Farms love to teach kids about what they do. Some of the things we've done before are bee farms, dairy farms, goat farms. Farms are great. Also, look for homeschool discounts at local museums, history tours, etc. They give out homeschool discounts, which will allow you to go more often to those places without spending a lot of money. Okay, the fourth way to outsource would be to join a hybrid or cottage school program. So I feel like every week something new pops up here in Charleston for your child to go to school, just for a day or two, and take a little bit of the load off of you. So there are university model schools. It's schools where students attend 2 to 3 days a week, and then they homeschool the rest. There are micro schools. There are hybrid academies, like Classical Conversations, Charlotte Mason community programs. There's also a place here called Veritas. So look for those things if you want to have some time to get some things done while your child goes and gets instruction somewhere else for a few hours. These give structure and community while still keeping home days flexible. Okay, the fifth way, enrichment programs. A lot of times your homeschool association will provide courses like 6-week courses or educational seminars that your child can attend for a very small price, if any at all. In the past, we've done DNR, Department of Natural Resources, marsh classes here in Charleston, where we would meet up with the same group each week to learn about the marsh habitat, plant marsh seeds, etc. It was a lot of fun. You'll be surprised at the events and field trips that an association can offer, along with discounted prices to get into places locally. So don't sleep on your homeschool association. Go and check out what they offer. And then the last thing I'm going to say about outsourcing would be to travel the world. So, fun fact, this podcast used to only be about points and miles and how to travel very cheaply with your entire family. And why did I want to teach my audience this? It's because I want everyone to be able to educate outside the home wherever you want and not spend $1 million to do it. Now, I should probably do a refresher episode, but for now, let me just say I'll post the links to those podcasts here if you're curious on how you can travel cheaply with your family and field trip wherever you want to. Why do you homeschool? You homeschool for flexibility, freedom from a rigid schedule, right? So traveling is probably the most fun way to educate your child, and they gain so much along with it. One of the biggest ones we did with the kids was taking them to Arizona. And I'm going to tell you, they learned more there about the Grand Canyon and the different terrains than I could have taught them through a book or a video. And everything was hands-on. So it was really great. And we've done several things. We've gone to Williamsburg, Virginia. There's been a lot of trips that we have taken and made them also educational at the same time. Lastly, I'll mention that AI is your friend in this arena. I know everyone has their thoughts on AI, and I do too, but I also see it as a great resource when it comes to thinking on ideas on how to outsource things in your area. AI is a wealth of information. It can help you with online ideas, apps, and other resources based on the area that you are looking for. Remember, homeschooling is wonderful because you can tailor your child's education how you see fit. And that doesn't mean it's all on you. Find ways to help your child amass an amazing education with all the resources around you. New to the podcast this year, not only do we want to help you in your homeschooling and mothering journey, but we also want to pray for you. Please know anything you share with us is confidential and will not be shared with our community. We simply want listeners to have a place that they can come and know that they will be prayed for every week. Please send your prayer request either right here, scan the QR code, or send them to hello@unexpectedhomeschoolers.com with the subject prayer. Each week, I'll take a day to pray over each and every request sent to us. Thank you guys so much for listening to the Unexpected Homeschoolers podcast. You can find full show notes from today's episode by clicking below or visiting our website at www.unexpectedhomeschoolers.com. You can connect with us on all social media platforms at Unexpected Homeschoolers Pod. If you're loving the podcast, we'd be so honored if you'd go ahead and hit that subscribe button and leave us a review. Until next time, happy homeschooling.